Hi everyone, I'm Astro Coach Amy. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Divine GPS Navigator. Today we'll be talking about the solar eclipse, and as I mentioned before, this is the second solar eclipse this summer, and it's really significant since we're having 5 this year. We know that things are really speeding up. So let's take a look. Unfortunately, this is a partial eclipse that's primarily going to be visible in northern parts of the world, way up in Canada, Northern Europe, Greenland. There's a little part of Asia, part of sort of northern and sort of western Asia will be visible. However, you'll certainly feel the event. It is about 3.5 hours long. It starts about 1:02 in the morning. However, if you're someone that would like to meditate and you're an early riser, about 2:46 Pacific Daylight Time is probably the peak of the eclipse. It should be over about 4:30 in the morning, give or take. And again, this is when the new moon, of course, crosses in front of the sun and creates a shadow. And it's a little more subtle than the lunar eclipse, very important though. And it impacts the sun in our birth chart, which is really about career and sense of purpose. Even for those of you that may not be working right now, it doesn't matter. We all have a sense of purpose. This is a more subtle time, although it can be very transformative, very inspiring. So I do invite all of you, please take some time, whether it's in the morning or the evening, and I would give your digital technology a little bit of rest and take that time, however you do it. It's a time of great insight. There can be some just incredible aha moments. So make sure that you don't block those great messages that may be coming your way. You certainly may feel the energy a couple days before, as well as, of course, during and after the event. And you may even have stronger dreams. The eclipse is really there to clear out old things that no longer serve us and open new chapters. And it's subtle. It isn't always the most comfortable, but it can be very profound. You might want to take a look back at what was happening earlier this year, late January, early February. Are you where you'd like to be? Are there some interesting things you'd like to move forward with? And I do invite you to plant those seeds of intention. It's a very rich time that you can do that so that you can have a very rich harvest. We're going to have a almost full eclipse here in North America in January. So I invite you to take that action. By all means, it's also valuable. Get more exercise right now with all that's going on, however you can do that. Because remember, if you release that energy in a positive way, you'll have so much access to it in a higher dimension. There are 3 aspects I'd like to mention during the eclipse. The first is called a yod, or a destiny pattern. And the sun and the moon and Mercury are all in the water sign of Cancer. So it's definitely, it's time of feelings. It's more sensitive. So please practice your emotional intelligence. It may not always be easy right now. Try not to take things personally. The yod is, we have both Pluto and Neptune are making what we call an inconjunct. So it's one of those patterns that's subtle. You can't quite see it, but you know something's off. You feel a little bit uncomfortable or awkward. However, it can be a very powerful time. So with Neptune in the air sign of Aquarius, it's really saying, since all these planets in Cancer are about me, my emotional stability and security and keep me safe, and I want to hide out in my family. Neptune's saying, don't forget the big family. Don't forget to have a more altruistic attitude. Whereas Pluto in the fire sign of Sagittarius has a bigger message, a different message, not bigger. And Pluto is really all about looking at old behaviors, trying to let go of things we might do, if you will, to control ourselves or others, to, quote, feel safe. We don't want to take a risk. We don't want to tell the truth. And this pattern is really asking us to make the shift. Let's be more truthful. Let's get a little bigger than just outside our own home and making sure that everything's good at our house. And let's reach out to the neighbors and let's see how we can also share our truth so that as a community we can work together. The second pattern is still in the heavens. We've discussed is Uranus is still square to Mars. Uranus in the fire sign of Aries is, remember, all about new, pioneer, let's break free tonight. We don't care about the order of things. And however, with Mars in Capricorn, remember, it's all about control, achievement, and there's certainly a lot to be said for success and money. However, with this very volatile combination in this square, it's an opportunity to integrate. Let's step up and use our greater ego. Yes, it would be important for all of us to prosper, but let's do it in a win-win rather than a self-serving way that might harm others. Let's step up. Let's find a way to really create some good ventures that are good for the planet, and then everyone can benefit. The third pattern is Jupiter is also making a square to these three personal planets. Although Jupiter isn't quite as intense as Uranus, it's very expansive in more than one way, and we can tend to exaggerate. So one of the things that's important, because Jupiter is making the square, especially involving the moon, and of course Mercury, and of course the sun is there in the North Node. So the idea again is there may be a tendency to want to exaggerate, taking things very personally. If someone gives you feedback you don't like, by all means, please release any resentments. Jupiter in Libra is all about let's collaborate, let's make this work for everyone, let's get a bigger picture. However, there may be a tendency for some emotional drama with this kind of a pattern. So just please be aware, try to detach with love, and practice that emotional intelligence. As I mentioned, it's so important to be exercising now. We still have those two retrogrades, so let's take a quick review. We have Mercury that's continued to be in Cancer, and it will be in retrograde technically till the 19th, but I'd say by the 20th, things should be smoother in your scheduling, your calendar, your communications. This is still a really important time. Share your truth. Keep a flexible attitude and calendar, because you may have wonderful opportunities that come your way that won't be there if you're upset and angry because someone was late or missed their appointment. Remember, some great opportunities are waiting for you. And of course, last but not least, that we got that Mars still retrograde in Capricorn. And again, by the 28th, I think you'll see things be you'll find the energy is going to change. So again, if you're feeling, I know myself, I've been feeling more irritated than usual. I'm getting more exercise. It's made a huge difference. I'm decluttering. So by all means, this cycle is really about being a good steward with your resources. Get to bed earlier, give away the stuff you don't want, take a look at your spending plan. Are there things you can do without? Are there things that would be important to include? It's a really wonderful time to reorganize that. And I think you'll see some tremendous benefits by the end of August. I'm so glad you joined me. It is, as we all know, a very volatile time on the planet. I invite all of you, please have that heart of gratitude for just the fact we're all here together, and celebrate your progress. I know there's things each day you're improving upon. Give yourself that credit as well as to others, and let's stay connected to our divine source. It's so important right now. I'm so glad you joined me. I'm Master Coach Amy. This is the Divine GPS Navigator. And if you'd like a reading, please contact me through my website or my email.